Alexander, wish you to prosper in peace. May all mortals from now on live like one people, in concord for mutual advancement. Consider the world as your country, with laws common to all, and where the best will govern, irrespective of tribe. I do not distinguish between men, as the narrow-minded do.
The small village of Vergina in northwestern Greece is now known to be the site of Aegia, the first capital of the ancient Macedonian kingdom, founded between 8 and 700 BC. The significance of the area was first noted by a French archaeologist in the 19th century. But it was not until 1977, after 25 years' work at Vergina, that Professor Manolis Andronikos made a momentous discovery.
When I started my excavations in 1952, I never imagined that I could find royal tombs. All archaeologists, we dig up tombs, graves, but it's different to dig up a small, a common tomb, and another to find intact royal tomb after 23 centuries, and to open it and enter into it and to find everything in each place as it was put when the burial was done. Yourself, if you have the right to enter, you feel an awe. Nobody doubted that the tomb was a royal tomb, but they suggested that it was not of Philip II, Alexander's the great father, but of another Philip, Philip III, who was a son of Philip II, half-brother of Alexander the Great. But in 83, a team of British scholars and scientists examined the bones of the skeleton, especially the skull, and found that on the bone above the right eye was a deformation due to a wound from a missile which came from above and blinded the dead of this tomb. So we knew that Philip was blinded by an arrow. So after this conclusion of this British team, I think nobody can doubt now that the tomb belongs to Philip II.
The discovery at Vergina fills an enormous gap in history. Unlike southern Greece, there are no written records of ancient Macedonia prior to the rule of Philip II. Even then, the only documentation comes from Philip's enemies, the Athenians. Foremost among them was Demosthenes.
Are not all our strongholds in the hands of this man? And if he becomes master of this land, shall we not suffer the worst? Is he not an enemy? Doesn't he possess our land? Is he not a barbarian? Does he not deserve the worst epithets? For observe, Athenians, the height to which the fellow's insolence has soared. He leaves you no choice of action or inaction. He blusters and talks big. He cannot rest content with what he has conquered. He is always taking in more, everywhere casting his net around us, while we sit idle and do nothing.
All my life I was democratic, and I was in favor of Demosthenes, who was fighting for the liberty of Athens against Philip. So, sentimentally, I was with Demosthenes. And I didn't like Philip. But now, after I defined, I had much more about Philip and his history, and I understand that he was a great politician, first of all, and he was a great general. Most historians believe that Philip was great as general than Alexander the Great, because he had a target in his mind to unify Greece, to make a great kingdom, and he succeeded.
In the 4th century BC, the king Archelaus created a new capital, Pella, which was then on the northern Aegean coast. Pella became the political, economic and cultural center of ancient Macedonia.
On the time of Philip II, father of Alexander, Pella became the capital of the whole of Greece, because then Philip became the leader of the Greeks.
All men will be grateful to you, the Hellenes, for your kindness to them and the rest of the nations, if by your hands they are delivered from barbaric despotism and are brought under the protection of Hellas. I assert that it is incumbent upon you to work for the good of the Hellenes, to reign as king. It is your privilege, as one who has been blessed with untrammeled freedom, to consider all Hellas your fatherland.
Pella was forgotten for all these centuries until today. They started some small excavations before the First World War. By chance, the excavations started again on 1957. Someone was building his house and he discovered some columns. We had this great chance, the first days of the excavations, to find the famous mosaics. The mosaic of Dionysus first, and after some days, the mosaic of the hunting of Alexander.